Hey, it's Mike Henry. I hope everybody is doing great. I'm here with my good friend Adam Ray. Adam's funny. He does stand-up comedy. He writes all kinds of shit. He acts. You were in the Barbie movie, which is like the biggest movie ever, right?
I mean, they're still saying right now that my scene is, I don't want to say it's being nominated.
The scene is nominated for best scene?
Well, I'm not saying that they're saying that.
Why are you coughing, dude? Is that marijuana?
Monkeypox.
Okay.
Yeah. It's marijuana.
Marijuana. All right.
Named monkeypox.
Okay. Did you get that at the MedMan? It's just like monkeypox.
The names of the weeds. I met a kid at the comedy store last night, and he works at a dispensary, and I go, the names of the weeds are always the best. I go, what would be the best you would, give? It is marijuana. Would give a friend that is new to pot. He goes, probably green crack. I go, dude, I said new to pot, not something that's going to make him fear for his life. I go, don't you have like Oprah's Taint or Hitler's Freeway? And he goes, we actually do have a Hitler-type weed. I go, this is where the conversation stops.
Yeah.
If you have a Hitler-type anything, I don't want to be friends with you.
That's right. Hitler was bad. I'm going on record. Bad man. A bad man. So was Idi Amin. Who else?
Paula Deen.
Paula Deen. Is she bad? Little racist?
Little racist.
Down home? Little
now, is
old
racist
school?
bad? How are we defining bad? Michael Jackson was bad.
He was.
On stage and off.
That's what
We'll be
I
right
heard.
back.
Yep. You remember that old joke, the Michael Jackson sale at Target's boys' pants half off?
Oh.
Yeah. That's not funny.
I think Michael Jackson had a nut allergy. There's a joke there. It's like a...
It's hard to think of jokes about Michael Jackson.
Well, you want to hear one of the first jokes I did that got me, where I bombed?
Yeah.
I was in London studying abroad. I went to...
What was her name?
By the way, funny, and also my brother-in-law, Dirte, white rapper, still says the word broad.
Okay.
And says it's coming back.
Okay.
Dirte.
What does broad mean? Does it mean broad?
It's like... No.
Buttocks? Where did the term come from?
It's just, I don't even know, but it's a very old school. It's not even like, it's pre-chick. Remember when Zach Morris and AC Slater were like, there's a hot chick with fat tit, or I'm paraphrasing the episode, but when they would say chick, I was like, that still feels like not right as you get older, but I'm like, I will take chick over broad.
Yeah.
But Dirty is like, this broad, man, this broad. He even calls my sister a broad, and I'm like, just, she's your wife, or use her name.
Right.
Anyway.
You were studying her.
I was studying her overseas in London, and I worked my way into this comedy club. I had done it maybe 6 times.
Okay.
And I felt like I had heard some story of like...
What was it called?
The Monkey Bone.
The Monkey Bone.
In London.
Well, see, that's offensive to me.
And so I'm down there underground, and I do this joke where I go, Michael Jackson, he just come out with a CD of #1 hits. And I go... Michael Jackson has this this album of all the #1 hits, and it's got all the classics. Beat It, Black or White, and of course my favorite, All Right, I Did It, I Fucked the Kid in the Ass. And it got one laugh from a guy in the back where he just goes, oh shit. But in an accent he goes, oh shit. And then everyone else, crickets.
Love it.
And I closed on that.
Right.
And I had written it that day, and I told my buddy in the acting program, and he was like, dude, that'll crush. A non-comic who knows nothing about stand-up, who's
right.
Who
you listen to.
Yeah,
you gotta gauge it somehow.
I needed somebody. I wasn't gonna call my mom back in Seattle. Mom,
right.
What do you think of this?
Yeah. So you grew up in Seattle,
Yes.
and did your mom did she encourage you when you were a kid? When did you start being funny?
Probably 2nd grade. I think I started to impersonate teachers and friends as a goof.
Yeah.
4th grade is really when I turned it up a notch and would do things like. Was trying to elicit a response and felt like I had an audience. We had a teacher named Mr. Berger, R.I.P. He was like 6'6", real tough. I mean, he looked like Vince McMahon, but like if he was an accountant. Mm-hmm. And he was just a big, intimidating guy. And on April Fool's, I went to the joke shop in downtown Seattle at Pike's Market, and I got a hand buzzer, a fake ice cube with a fly in it, and a whoopee cushion. And I was like, I'm going to use all 3 on Mr. Berger, and the crowd's going to go nuts. And he leaves the room, and he comes back, and I get up. And everyone knew I was the class clown. I was already doing dumb things here and there. And some kids were all about it, and some kids were like, you can get us in trouble. Like, stop. Those kids now work at Costco.
Right.
And so, which no shame, by the way. Like, Costco, I heard the benefit plans are extraordinary.
Yep.
So,
judgment.
No judgment.
But you were judging.
No judgment. Yeah, I was judgy back then.
It's fine.
And so I put the whoopee cushion down perfectly, by the way. It was so perfect. that I was like, oh, we're gonna get the best fart. It might even turn into a queef. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that is.
That's the best whoopee cushion sound.
It might spin around and the flap thing would be in the front. Okay.
Yes. You read the instructions.
Yeah.
And so he comes in, and I put in his coffee, I put the fake ice cube in there. Mm-hmm. He sits down on the whoopee cushion. To this day, I have not heard a more perfect butt to cushion.
Yeah.
Like all in the same.
Nice.
Everyone, and this is fourth grade.
Right.
Prime fart noise. Like, everyone was like, oh, and nobody could believe it.
Right.
Then he goes, Jesus Christ, says that.
Yeah.
Picks up his coffee, drinks, cube hits his mouth.
Right.
First of all, he didn't put ice in his coffee.
No.
So he knows something else is wrong. Hits his mouth, looks down, sees the fly, goes, what the? Like it's out of an 80s sick. What the?
Right.
And then stands up and just goes, Mr. Ray?
Yeah.
Knows it's me. And everyone's laughing. And I'm like, I kind of give him like a,
Yeah, gotta love me.
And then he says, meet me in the hallway. And I start walking out. And I just go, so sorry, Mr. Berger. I go, put her there. And he grabs my hand
No, he didn't.
and holds it up.
You
and
went
he just,
3 for 3.
Yeah. I tried to. He wouldn't let me get the buzzer in. He grabbed my hand and kind of like flipped it around. And I was like,
So my first
by
question
the way,
is,
he grabbed me hard in hindsight. So R.I.P. But also,
hard and
Jesus
hind.
Christ. Yeah.
All right. How did he not say the whoopee cushion?
I don't know.
Was it? Did he like have to pull his chair out? Or
Yeah,
was
I just think he
like,
wasn't looking down. I think
forward?
teachers too, they're just always, there's so much going on. So I think he's like ruffling through, and it's second nature just to sit down at your desk, pull your chair out, you're ruffling through papers and whatnot.
Right.
And so he just
See,
sat
that
down.
was always the thing with me is like it's almost like you got to be right behind somebody and throw it in at the last second.
Oh yeah,
But I'm glad it worked for you.
it worked out.
Did you get in trouble?
I was out in the hall for most of the day, and I had to write. This was another turning point where he had me, Bart sit,
Weed.
Bart.
Weed.
Excuse me.
Smoking up
He
a
had
stain.
me. He had me Bart Simpson write out on a notebook. I will not be a class clown, or I will not disturb the class, like 100 times.
Okay.
That was a bummer.
It didn't work, did it?
Yeah, but then I would. Then fifth grade, I started to impersonate friends and teachers more, and then I'd say probably sixth grade is when I would start prank calling Seattle sports radio stations.
Nice.
And I had my first Sony, and I would.
Did you record them?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you still have them?
I do. If I can find them, I'll send them to you to maybe
Please.
throw a few in here. But again, it was just starting to find like having an audience, having a few buddies here and there on the in the classroom was cool, and then hanging out after school and then like just saying stuff. But I wasn't. You wanted to play a bigger room, so
Right.
I'd be on the bus and I would record them at night on a little on my first Sony, and the Seattle sports radio stations late night after Mariners or Sonics games. Not a lot of people were calling in. Most people were drunk at the
Right.
bars or whatever.
Right.
No real adults were up like after the game, being like, "Dude, was it great?" They weren't getting a lot of calls, so I figured that out, and I would call in 4 or 5 times in a row as a 10, 11-year-old boy.
Right.
And I'd call in at first and it'd be like, and even at that age, it was also like a, looking back now, like a way that I was trying out voices and stuff.
Sure.
Which I want to ask for you when you started doing that. But like it was just so fun to kind of feel like I could get to trick them, really.
Yeah.
And then also just it was fun. It was silly. And so I'd call and first they'd be like, "Yeah, I think the Mariners need to really consider trading Ken Griffey Jr. I just don't think he's like playing well. Like, yeah, he's won MVP last year, but like there's so many great snacks out there we could trade him for." And they're like, "What are you talking about?" And I call back about,
Yeah, I just think so. Sean Kemp is maybe the greatest player of all time.
and then just one after the other. And I had this tape of like 5 in a row, and I would go on the bus then and then play them for my buddies, and they would laugh. And it's not like I needed it to be like, "Oh, cool, I'm the funniest guy." Right? It was just I wanted to make them laugh.
Yeah,
That was really the
Yeah.
base and the be all end all of it.
Yeah.
And also,
Weed.
as I've learned as I got older, I was a big kid growing up, and so when I made people laugh, it turned me from fat kid to funny kid.
Oh yeah.
So people didn't look at me and be like, "Sweet titties." It was like, "Nice
Right.
punchline," or
Right.
"Thanks for the giggles,"
Right.
and the jiggles.
Okay. That's good. I like it.
But you know what I'm saying?
I used to make prank phone calls too. The first time I did it, and I found this tape recently.
Yes.
So when I was like 9, my buddy Andrei Vlahovic came over and said, "Hey, let's call this lady and tell her she's won a car." And so we call up, and I'm like, Hey, this is Fred Johnson from whatever Chrysler Plymouth. If you could tell me which model was the highest selling model last year, you will win a brand new Chrysler Plymouth car. And she's like, oh, a Chrysler. That's exactly right. So if you come to Staples Mill Road, blah, blah, blah. And so then we called the dealership and said, hi, this is Dr. Schwartz from the insane asylum up the road. And the guy was just like, shut the fuck up. And so we tried.
Bro, that is the idea of winning a car. I don't know if The Price is Right or Oprah is responsible for instilling.
Price is Right.
Yeah.
A new car.
People lose their fucking minds.
Yeah, they got to pay the taxes and the insurance.
I know. The Price is Right. I remember I went to a taping my sophomore year of college out here, 2003. And we went with 20 guys from my frat, the Jewish frat, API. And you're guaranteed if you get 20 people to go to a taping, one of you gets to go on Contestants Row. And it was a $1 million taping. So Price is Right did these primetime 8 p.m. shows with Bob Barker, RIP, which, by the way, I thought Bob Barker died like 5 years ago, but he just passed at 99.
Right.
But he...
Just under 100. That's just the joke.
That's right. Yeah. You know, that was whoever tweeted that was brilliant. So we went to the taping, and the prizes out of the gate weren't just normal price. It was bigger and better. So a normal Price is Right 11 a.m. taping, it's a dinette set, a pool table, some jewelry, maybe a phone. Out of the gate, it was 5 Escalades and a whore, and or a toaster that.
So you knew exactly how much to bid. So.
Well, I was with Jews,
right?
And we just knew a pricing game for people of the Jewish faith. The joke writes itself. Right. We're all going nuts. It's late. We've been drinking. We've been eating edibles, and we're in line to walk in.
Did they have edibles in 2003?
Oh yeah.
All right.
Oh yeah.
Who knew?
And we were. I mean, just like baking weed.
Right. Your friend made them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And not like we bought at the dispensary.
Right.
Somebody made weed brownies.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
that's a big dice roll right there. But
what's that?
Eating your buddy's weed brownies that he
made.
You
never know how much is baked into it.
Right.
Somebody should look over and hover over the process of like, this is a safe amount of weed, right? Mm-hmm. We're always just like, I trust David from Burbank.
Right.
And so we go to the taping. We're standing in line. They interview everyone. The producer's job, there's 3 people. They walk down the line. They go, why do you want to be on The Price is Right? Is what they ask everybody. Mm-hmm. And usually it's like Deb from Wisconsin. She's like, I drove 1,000 miles just to be here.
That is so Wisconsin.
Yeah. I brought my cheese, baby.
Oh, Deb.
And she gets a chance.
Right.
And then my buddy Jeff Neiman, I'll say his name, and he was pretty intoxicated. And he goes, I suck Bob Barker's dick. And they go, okay. And they just kept moving, and they walked past the rest of us after that.
Right.
He was, I think, 2 out of 20. They just skipped the whole group.
Right.
Because they're like, that's what this group is.
Right.
They weren't wrong. I'm bummed. The one guy that went before is a kid named Matt Siegel, and also Jew. And he gets called up at the very end. And again, the prizes are crazy. There's trips on every game. It's bonk. It's $1 million Price Right taping. So we're down there. He gets called up at the very end. So he got one shot to get on contestants to get on the stage.
Right.
And he gets $1 by a probably 92-year-old Filipino woman. I'll never forget it.
Okay.
And she even like turned around and looked at us because we were all going nuts when he got his price out, and it was pretty close. And then she like turned around. I remember slow. I don't even think her body moved. It was just her head, and she was like. And she looked at us and she was like, $1, Bob. And we were like, you bitch.
You're right,
we were
right?
losing it. He doesn't win. She wins. And I'm sitting there in my seat. My buddy Mitch Parness, we're kind of bummed and drunk and high. And I go, man, what a waste, man. Like, we waited all this time and we only had one shot to get up there. And we were supposed to get guaranteed one person.
Right.
And it was at the very end. He goes, you should rush the stage. And I go, what? He goes, rush the stage. I was like, let me check with this part of my brain that's also very fucked up. What's that? You got it. So I'm sitting on the edge. I get to the stage. There's a staircase that walks up. There's a security guard that you can't see on TV standing at the front of the stage for this exact reason. She goes, excuse me, what are you doing, sir? I go, that's my best friend in the whole world. She goes, all right. I walk by. I start running around. I'm dancing. I'm hugging. I'm going crazy with all of his friends. He's got like 15 friends up there. At one point, I grab him. I'm rubbing his head. I sat in the Escalade and pretended to drive like people do. And at the very end, there's footage of this. on YouTube. I'm standing behind Bob Barker as he's being like, "Don't forget to get your pet spayed," and I'm doing the fucking robot behind him and waving to my friends at home on TV.
Did you suck his dick?
Yes.
It came full circle. Get it, Kim? Come.
Yeah, it did. And let me just say this: an old man's dick tastes like what you think it tastes like.
Like a beef
Plinko
jerky.
chip. A beef jerky. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. A beef jerky Plinko chip.
Beef jerky in an ashtray.
Actually, beef jerky. Oh my God, that's probably what it does. But I don't know. See, there's some people love beef jerky.
Mm-hmm. Was it shaped like his microphone? Like just a long, slender.
So funny, dude.
Yeah,
This is why you're one of the best, dude.
Oh, right,
Was it shaped like his microphone?
Yeah.
It has to be.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think it has to be. Even if Bob was living with a normal sized wiener, I think at some point,
He'd have to have it done.
yeah, somebody was like, "Come on, man, do it for the bit
this
at least."
is L.A. Some doctor here can do it.
You proposed a great question. You've recently moved back. Mm-hmm. Mazel, we love having you here.
I love being
Welcome
here.
back.
Thank you. Yeah.
If you had to get a surgery and end up on botched,
Okay.
right?
Okay.
But a surgery that was, I just thought of that because those people are usually trying to undo
all
what's
fucked
been,
up.
yeah, it's all
Yeah.
fucked up.
Yeah.
They're like, put a butt on my neck, and then they do, and then they're like, I wanted titties. And
Right.
I was like, well, you didn't say that.
Right.
What would you want? What would be your upgrade?
I'd probably get a third penis
Where would you put it?
next to the other two.
Funny.
Just kidding. I'm not bicocked.
A
I
third
don't know.
penis
I
feels
don't-
like a big responsibility.
Yeah, you don't want to mess with your penis.
It's also like,
I mean, you do, but that's
Imagine
on
me
your,
at the
that's on
urinal.
your time.
which one do you pee with? Or do you tuck the other two away?
Follow
Follow up. What do you say if someone sees?
I'd say, what the fuck are you looking at? You cross-eyed motherfucker. I don't know.
You
I don't
put
know.
it on them.
We've gone.
You're
gone.
seeing things, man.
We've gone off the rails.
You got
here.
3 penises?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Try. Fuckta.
Yeah.
There you go. It just comes.
Wait, can you give me
Come.
this? Can you give me this?
Yes.
What if Herbert was at a urinal
Come on now.
and saw 3 penises?
Oh my goodness! It's Christmas. It's the first 3 days of Hanukkah.
Oh,
Sorry.
my God.
Yeah. Sorry.
You're brilliant.
So I met you
Yeah.
years ago. It was probably 6-7 years ago. You had me on the About Last Night podcast.
Yes.
And I show up at your place, and Brad Williams was there.
Brad was there.
And somebody just hands me a big fat doobie as soon as I walked in.
Yeah.
And
And you knew you were at home.
I knew I was in the right place.
Yeah.
Although I didn't hit it right then because I had to deal with something. But then I
Yep.
hit it later that day.
Yep.
So thank you for that.
You
big
got
fat
it.
doobie.
Is there something about showing up to a podcast like that with people you've never met where you're like, I don't know, I guess, were you, our connection I think was Kevin Biggins who
Yeah.
hooked us
K
up.
Biggs. Yeah.
Just saw him the other day at a Starbucks.
Oh, good.
And great guy.
He
and,
is.
And he was happy to link us. What was
Yeah.
great is that I is such a fan, and you were so just like, fuck yeah, sounds cool.
Yeah.
But I always dangle there's going to be a dwarf there, and I think that helps a lot.
Yes.
Brad Williams,
Brad
great
Williams.
comic, great fella,
Yeah. I
little
got a
person.
Brad in here. I think I would love to have Brad.
I'll loop you guys tonight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's the best.
He is the best. He's so funny.
I saw Brad driving down the street.
Which
and
is- did you
he
make a
had
wish?
his finger so far up his nose.
Yeah.
He was picking the shit out of his nose, and I pulled up and I just started imitating.
That's so funny because he picks his nose a lot. I've never actually told him that, but I've seen him do it quite a bit.
Right.
I haven't seen him like look down and eat it. Actually, I've seen him look down,
Right.
but not eat it.
But not eat it.
But every time I see him pick his nose,
He's not going to be seen eating it.
Well, no, because then people go, "Oh, little people eat their boogers," you know?
Right.
Because everything he does, it's say,
I
"Oh,
think-
little people do."
Is that racist? That you would just assume that all little people is that are little
No,
are
I-
little people a race? Like is
Funny.
that a generalized statement? If
I
you
think
if you
start-
see one guy,
start
like
a-
if I saw an Asian man
Yeah,
shitting on the sidewalk, would I say all Asians shit on sidewalks?
I think that's. I think it's case by case. I think it
Okay.
depends if he looks like he's in a hurry. No.
Okay.
If he's just doing it like, this is what I do, and
Right.
this is what we do.
Right.
If he has a shirt that says, "This is what we do,"
Right.
you're like, was he going to a football game? Is he
Right.
pumped up?
And on the
for-
back of the shirt it says, "What the fuck are you looking at?" I'm taking a shit on a sidewalk. Fuck you.
I think with Brad, I think anytime, and he'll speak to this, but I think that if anyone sees him doing whatever, like I did this thing for TBS and they gave me one of these, I think Funky Ducks, the hoverboards, right?
Okay.
The things that you can like you spin around on and ride.
Right.
I never trusted myself on it.
Orthopedic surgeon's invention.
Yes. Yeah. And so he was brilliant on it, and I gave it to him, and so he would ride up Laurel, where I used to live, up the street on it, And he said he had to park on Sunset one day because Fairfax was full, and so he went down Sunset on it and said he almost caused 6 car accidents.
A little guy on a hoverboard. Yeah.
But he goes, for sure, everyone seeing me was like, "Oh, that's how they get around." Because when you don't know,
Right.
I mean, and I've talked about this in my act. It's just like there's so much you don't know about the LP community that.
Little people.
Yes, when Brad and I,
As opposed to old records.
yes,
Okay.
I didn't think about that. When Brad first, I didn't know they could drive, little people. So
Right.
when he first asked me the comedy story, he was like, "Hey man, I'm leaving. Do you want to ride?" And I was like, "On your dragon? Like, what the fuck are you? Like, it's not gonna be a car with those many burritos attached to your wrist."
Right.
And he's like, he actually has a wooden block with a metal extender pedal.
Yep.
That's how he gets around.
Right.
Which didn't make me any more comfortable.
No, that would be horrifying.
Yeah, I'm like, oh, so there's this little fucking metal
Right.
Tin Man.
So he distracted you by picking his nose while he was driving to make you
Hilarious.
feel easier?
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you remember the kids that ate the boogers?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was that kid.
Were you
I don't
really?
mind a fucking booger once in a while. So, no, I'm kidding. So one
said
time,
that's so gangster.
my son
Mind
was
a fucking
was
booger.
like 2.5, and we were getting ready for bed or whatever, and I read him a book, and it had just been the longest fucking day.
What book?
I don't fucking remember.
Great.
But anyway, I'm exhausted, absolutely exhausted. Got him cleaned up, got him dressed, got all the
whole
shit
thing.
done, and then you fucking get in the bed, and then like I was just gonna like take a nap, and so while he fell asleep,
Yeah.
or whatever. So he looks at me, I'm reading the book, whatever, and then he just looks at me, and he's got this huge like half crusty, half gooey booger on his finger.
Oh no.
And I was so fucking tired. I know there's obviously tissues and toilet paper in the bathroom, whatever. And I just looked at him and I was like, just eat it. So he just fucking chowed down on it. I think that's the last time I saw someone eating a booger. And he's 20 now. So, wow. Yeah. So I was proud of him.
Yeah.
He saved me a trip to the bathroom to get him
Yeah.
a tissue.
The booger eating community is, I think, bigger than we think.
The BEC.
Funny. Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're out there.
Mm-hmm.
They don't have meetings.
Yep. Snot posse.
Snot posse.
Snot chow posse. Chow on the snot posse. Like a chow on some posse? No, some boogers.
I used to see this kid, Brian Hildebrand, and he would go to town on his boogers. And then he went to med school. So, like, I guess that's Brian gets a W.
Yeah. He wins.
And
Yeah,
never
smart.
judge a book by its cover because I'm sitting here watching him on the bus. He would always hide it to you. He'd be like,
Yeah. Yeah.
he would go, he had no, where you go wrong is when you pull it out and look at it. Brian just went fucking from farm to table.
Direct.
Yeah. he was here and he was like,
Yeah.
he just like, he'd
Hard to
pull
check.
it down.
Yeah.
Wouldn't even check. So it was, yeah, and just,
Like
that
a
might be the
like
grossest
a
part.
lozenge. He didn't chew. He just let,
Oh God, I'm gonna throw up watching you do the booger chew. Which,
Yeah.
not to be confused with the twist or the Dougie,
Mm-hmm.
but the booger chew. Dude,
Yeah.
you're like a cokehead trying to fucking trying to not freak out on the bus. Oh my God, dude.
Yeah.
He would just go here to here and just like that. And I remember being so grossed out. And then I found out he went to med school and he was a doctor, and I was like, all right, like,
yep.
circle gets a
Scalpel.
square. Yeah, scalpel.
Finger in my nose. Finger in my mouth. Suction. All right. There you go.
Mike, that's so fucking funny, dude.
Shit.
He calls for scalpel, booger.
Yeah. Why not? You know what?
He drops a booger in someone's heart doing an open heart surgery.
That's good.
Can you imagine? I don't think that'd do anything, though.
It might.
We don't know. You're right.
Let's try it.
We only know 3%
Call
of the
guy.
ocean.
What's his name? Dildebrand?
Brian. It should be Hildebrand. Brian
Okay.
Hildebrand. He was the kid. Did you have a kid that was, first of all, when I went to your place in Virginia, which was sweet for you to house me as a
Yeah,
guest.
man. Absolutely.
One of the,
We were thrilled we had something to do. We were quite bored there.
we made a little weekend out of it.
Yeah, it was fun.
We had a
Yeah.
show and everything. Came on stage with me, ripped it up.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
That was fun.
Your home was just beautiful.
Thank you.
And it was tucked away in this cool spot that just felt very, I mean, it was close to civilization, which was cool, but then
Right.
you're kind of like tucked
Yeah.
away to where no one can find the goodies. But
Yeah.
but that was a real treat.
Yeah.
Can you answer me this real quick?
Yes.
What do you miss about Virginia? And you can say nothing.
Nothing.
Cool. When you were 5.
I'm just kidding, Virginia. I love you. That's my hometown.
Yeah.
I was there for family. It's not weed, actually. I don't know what that is.
Life.
Crack?
Life.
Green crack?
Crack.
Boogers?
Or, you know, sometimes I'll see Mike Lindell cough, and I'm like, oh, that's like a heroin hiccup is what I call it.
That's good.
When he's like, hey!
No, I miss just
Friends.
I miss the fall, maybe the weather back there. But
I love seasons.
yeah. No, I did my time in Virginia.
You did.
You know, I love Virginia. That chapter's closed now. We're on to L.A. and enjoying life out here.
Did you listen to Meet Virginia when you moved back?
What's that?
It's a song by Train.
Oh no.
Meet Virginia.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, yeah.
I should have. Fuck.
Or what if you got real upset right now through the table?
Fucking miss that shit. Yeah.
I was singing.
I listened to California Dreamin' when I got here.
Did you?
I did.
That's awesome.
I love that.
You
fucking
got to do
song.
that stuff. Beach Boys fucking rule, dude.
It wasn't Beach Boys. It was Mamas and the Papas.
Ooh.
Yeah, it sounded like the Beach Boys. So.
Oh, wait a second. Oh, oh, that's right. Okay.
That's all right.
Anything.
California Streamin' at the urinal.
That's Beach Boys.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is fun to listen to. Like, I remember, I think when I moved out here to go to college at SC, I listened to California Love.
Okay.
And quite a bit of Tupac, quite a bit of Snoop.
Yeah.
That was my rap phase.
Yep. I love
That was pre-Dirte, before my sister married a
Murder
rapper.
was the case.
Murder was the case.
Yeah.
People tried to tell me when I moved down here, too, they're like, you're going to be, USC, that's right, in Compton. Careful. Yep. And all the scared white people that would try to give me some sort of heads up,
right?
They all had a different concern. Watch your pants.
Okay.
Watch your wallet.
Yep.
Or watch your back. You know, it's always just
right.
Nobody ever said like watch your watch.
They should have.
You know, check what time it is to make sure you're not out too late.
In your pants, right?
I think so.
Depends
watch
on
your pants was a weird one. I think that was my girlfriend's dad at the time.
Did you say wash your pants?
He said wash and then watch your pants.
Wash your pants. There's some jizz
I had
on
shit
them.
myself.
Yeah.
And jizzed.
Yeah, you laced the football.
I had just fucked his daughter and then shit my pants. It was
right.
Always this bad. I would get nervous.
That's a great night.
I think so.
Yeah.
He didn't see it like that.
No. Was it Dockers? Were you wearing Levi's?
I think I was wearing probably some Old Navy khakis.
Yep.
This was 1999, 2000. No, 2001.
They were a little older after you were done.
They were.
Fuck.
Old Navy. Still rocking.
Hey, it's a great spot. Why not?
It's great to see companies out there that still want to throw commercials our way. Like Oreo. I'm like, dude, we know you guys. You don't have to show us the interracial couple sharing a cookie.
Well, it's Oreo.
We'll be right back.
That's the one commercial that should have that.
Totally.
I mean,
it really should.
Every commercial.
It's like Pop-Tarts.
Like I want to do like commercial parodies with just like the most extreme pairings.
Oh,
now.
yeah.
Like, you know, a crippled Nigerian marrying like a Swedish 7-foot tall woman.
Show it to us. Yeah. It's out there.
Yeah. We got to have it. You know what? We're all just people.
I know.
It's human beings.
Who said that?
John Lennon, Jesus Christ.
Both of them at the same time.
Maybe. I don't know. Yeah. Hey, we'll be right back. American Trimmer. Hey, we're back. All right, Adam. So you are like one of the hardest working comedy guys I know. So you're on tour a lot.
Yep.
You have the show that you're producing locally.
I do a Dr. Phil live show at the Comedy Store every month. I just was during the pandemic. I've always kind of done a Dr. Phil impression.
Yep.
Just a fascinating guy to me.
Oh yeah.
And
how would he talk like right now?
Well, first of all, he'd address the coughing, the clearing of the throat, and say, we all have habits, okay? Every day we deal as we wake up with the sun, we go to bed with the moon. Some people have passions that turn into habitual problems. And I've always said, you can wipe your butt after you pee, okay? But if you eat soup with a fork, you're gay. We'll be right back.
My wife's a freak, and as you get older, I'm coming up again on 42 years. You're going to see. You got to mix it up. Toys, hey, we'll go to a Bed Bath & Beyond and be like, oh, could that fit, you know? We'll be right back. We'll keep it right here, actually. We're out of commercials.
Picturing like that's what you say after you orgasm, you know? We'll be right back.
But no, I do think there's a problem with Yeah, I don't know. There's always an anecdote.
Oh my god!
And there's always he always wants to try to help.
Folksy non sequitur.
Yeah. And so I kind of got obsessed with it and started kind of playing around with it. And then my buddy Jeremiah Watkins and I would do these character podcasts during COVID at the studio where I'd get in full prosthetic. I did one season of a Mad TV reboot for CW. Yep. And I met
That
this.
stands for cunnilingus, by the way.
And so Jen Aspinall, the
CW.
makeup gal, was on the original SNL and then original Mad TV.
Weed.
And so I met her on that, and I was like, hey, could you get me up to look like Dr. Phil for these podcasts? We had a lot of fun doing it. And then one day I just was going to do a Adam Ray and Buddy show at the Comedy Store, just like, 5 comics, just headliner show. And Bill Burr was going to be on it. And I was like, Bill, I kind of want to mix it up and do this Dr. Phil live show that I have been thinking about for a while. I don't know what that is, but would you be down? He immediately was like, fuck yes, that sounds hilarious. Sends me all these voice notes. Like, you got to really come at me being like, Bill, you got a problem with your rage. And he's like, really getting into it. And so I create a whole show with like a monologue and crowd work up top. And then Jeremiah comes on as like this troubled teen. And then we have fake commercials that we shot and then interview Bill for an hour. And it went great. And so I did another one with Adam Devine and then doing another one with Matt Rife and Bobby Lee coming up and just keeping it moving. And it's so fun because it flexes all the, and you can attest to this, it's like as you're creating and just trying to fill the void, fill the downtime, it's really a necessity of like, I have to always keep challenging myself somehow.
Yeah.
And everyone has a different like level of what that challenge is. And for me, it's like, when I would, produce my own YouTube sketches, when that was getting going, I got really into writing, producing, have my buddies to shoot and edit, but be a part of all that.
Right.
And so this Phil show became that, where it was really creating the whole show from the ground up and then getting to flex all the muscles of, stand up with the monologue up top, crowd work, the podcast hours I've honed, hopefully come through in the interview part. And then it's all improv and then having somewhat of a map to kind of do
character
stuff.
work, by the way.
And character work, totally.
Yeah.
So it really is checking all the boxes, and it's just so fun.
Yeah.
And people digging it makes it even more fun.
So is checking all the so that's kind of like looking through a peephole into the women's locker room, checking all the boxes.
Which we do at the end of the show.
Okay, am
We
I allowed
pull
to
up-
say that anymore?
Yep.
Can I say that?
We
It's
pull
a
up our
fucking joke.
Yes,
it's not a box. It's
no,
a
you're
lovely
fine.
thing.
We pull up a video of a locker room at I think a Foot Locker room actually.
Oh, good.
It's a Foot Locker break room.
Okay, with boxes of shoes, which is exactly what I meant.
Yep.
Thank you.
Yep.
I'm sorry you were
That's
offended.
at
for a
Mike
second.
Henry on Threads.
Yeah.
And
So, but
so that's a
you're-
lot of fun.
Yeah. No, it's hilarious. And so, how long does the makeup take?
About 3.5 hours.
Fucking
Yeah, and I get used to it. It's not my favorite thing.
Right.
Look,
Can you take a shit during that time? Will she like continue to make you
I'm
up?
shitting
if-
the whole time.
Okay, good. All
It's
right.
the only way she can be relaxed.
Okay, so you're on the all meat diet.
Yeah. You know, it
Okay.
just reminded me of an old David Tell joke where he goes like, he would hit me as a kid, not because I was a bad kid. It was the only way he could stay hard. David Tell, one of the greats.
Yeah.
But no, the makeup is, I've always been fascinated too by like Jim Carrey and the Grinch. Nutty Professor Eddie Murphy, one of my favorite movies ever,
yeah.
because of
Yes.
like what he pulls off in that.
That is amazing.
I don't think it gets enough credit, honestly. I know they won, I think, an Academy Award for the makeup job, but
yeah, he should have won one.
I mean, convincingly plays 8 people at a dinner table.
Absolutely.
Get the fuck out of here.
Very different people too. Very
Yes.
specifically
You don't
wired
see-
individuals.
I mean, you see Eddie because you know Eddie,
Right.
but like the mom is a mom.
Yep.
The grand. I mean, I don't know, man. It's pretty
You
bonkers.
got to love the genesis of that too from his stand up because he would
Totally.
just go through the whole cookout
Yeah.
thing and he did probably
Yes.
a lot of those characters
1000%.
in that. And so then he got to the point where
Yeah.
he could get made up and they could figure out how to film all that shit. I do. I'm on the Orville.
Yes, I was
sub
just gonna
show, and
say.
I'm in a prosthetic head, and that
Yeah.
takes 2 hours.
How fun is that?
It's great. You know, when you're shooting, it's great. When you're waiting, it's kind of like,
I know. Yeah,
but
you find ways to pass.
but
the
it's
time.
totally fun. Yeah, absolutely. You just do silly little videos. But so you're constantly doing stand up.
Yeah.
You're on tour
We're
all
all
the
time. About
And
to. I have a special on YouTube called Live from Portland, and
is that on Adam Ray Comedy?
Yes, that's my YouTube channel.
Yes,
Yeah.
check that out because there's a ton of great shit on that. Very funny.
Thanks, brother.
And you're acting all the time.
Yeah.
You're in the Barbie movie. What else have you been in generally
This
recently?
past couple of years, I mean, I was on the show Hacks, Curb Your Enthusiasm, Arrested Development, Pam and Tommy. I played Jay Leno. I was in the Chippendale show as the MC for the Chippendales. I did Pam and Tommy, and the guy, Rob Siegel, who created and ran that show, was like, I'm doing this Chippendale show. Can you roller skate? And I was like, yeah, man, I won all these tournaments in 92 to 94. And he was like, for real? I was like, no, man, I haven't been on skates since 92.
Of course not. I'm trying to get an acting job.
Yeah, so I lied my way through it and skated around. I mean, but stand-up is, I guess, the main thing right now. And the special. I'm editing the special that's going to come out that we're hopefully going to sell to Netflix. We'll see if they want to take another white guy, and hopefully they do. And,
Okay.
And if not, we'll figure it out. And then podcast about last night, what you've been on, and going to start doing this show on John Mayer's Sirius radio channel, which has launched, and so stay tuned on that.
Wonderful.
Just trying to keep it moving, man. You know, as we talked about when I think even after the podcast when you first came over, just about I think you were harkening back to when you first came out to LA and just how many different things you were doing, and it's like that's such an imperative part of trying to find your voice, but also trying to get reps in everything, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
In stand-up, sketch, writing shit, shooting shit, editing, promoting, getting headshots. Back in the day, we would staple our resume to the back of the headshot and send that shit out.
I remember
but it was
dropping it off at
obsession.
places.
You're obsessed. You're like you're doing it, and you're living your comedy, and it's paying off, and you know something gigantic is going to happen for you. I am certain.
Oh wow.
And now, like since I had kids and stuff, I've like just slowed down on it. I can't keep up that intensity. It's
but it's good. I think
it's
life
too tiring. You got to have kids eating boogers and stuff. You know, you got to manage that.
But isn't that like, I don't know. I think that's how it should, like, I don't think anybody like enjoys it or lives to a certain age if they're going at a certain pace the whole time, right? Like
it's like still going to the bar to pick up chicks.
Totally.
You know, like that's fun when you're young and, you know, like whatever. But you're sustaining this for a while. You're like,
I think I'm building. I think it's every year I just want to like get better, you know, on and off the stage, and being married, it definitely has helped that because it has helped me. I just feel like I'm laughing more because I have somebody around that I'm always being goofy with,
There you go.
and that feeds into everything.
yeah. Where'd you meet your wife?
So there was this glory hole. There was a Taco Bell KFC combo.
Okay.
That had, it was the only glory hole in West Hollywood.
What?
And yeah.
Wow. Okay.
I wish I had the balls to tell this story. I was just gonna say, I wish I had the balls
Well,
to
I didn't mean
actually
to-
sit down and tell my family right now. Like, guys, I know I said I met her at a comedy club. I was doing the Sunday night show at the Tempe Improv. A good buddy of mine was dating her best friend at the time, still her best friend, and he was about to move her best friend to Sacramento, and the next day, and they were like, hey. He's like, I'm going to go see my buddy on his last show of the weekend. You guys want to come? They brought her out. We met, definitely clicked and hit it off, and then hung that night, and then kept in touch 8th grade style for about 3-4 months. And then her and her friend moved to LA because her friend broke up with my buddy. And they were going to go LA or New York, and they loved LA. It was closer to Arizona where she's from. And we reconnected and kept it real cash. And then it just like got serious quicker than normal, but like as easy as it is now. Like it just was very
effortless.
She was living in a studio with her friend in Venice, and they were working at a couple bars and restaurants, and now she's in voiceover animation casting. And she would tell me that her and her friend would share a bed, and when her friend would have guys over, they would sleep in the bed, and her friend would sleep in between them. And I was like, "You want to stay at my place?"
Right.
Because that sounds awful.
Yeah.
And I was living by myself anyway, so she would stay there when I was on the road, and it added an extra level of like comfort. I liked her being there.
Right.
Because I knew she was taken care of and had her own bathroom and own TV, whatever.
Right. And it was much nicer than when you left.
Yeah,
come home
totally.
and it was-
I mean, 1,000%.
Yeah.
I remember my mom came down shortly after, and she was like,
There's no more log in the toilet.
"No, well,
you
she said
just leave that?
no, she would leave that."
Oh, she does. Okay.
She was like, "I want there to be some consistency and familiarity," so she
Okay.
would actually poo on top. It was-
Okay.
What's that called?
Double decker?
There it is.
I don't know.
Why do you know that? And why do I know that?
I just made it up.
No, that's what it is.
Is it really?
Did you really make that up?
I made it up. I was just kidding.
Mike, that's what it's called.
All right.
I don't know at what point in time somebody was like, Poo on Poo's called Double Decker. Tell everyone forever.
All right. Well, this is a family show that I'm doing here, but
bad.
do you ever jack off on her stools? Do you lace her football or just your
call
own?
her to see if I can say yes or no to that.
Okay. I pitched that joke, or we made that reference in the Cleveland Show writers' room one time, and Asim Bacha, one of the women in the room, just literally, just like gagged
Oh
at
my
that joke.
God.
So, hey, Asim, haven't seen you in a while. I hope you're doing great.
Were those writer? I mean, I think I can speak for most fans of you and the shows that we'd love to see like have a bird's eye view, hidden camera on the writers' rooms, and even like the table reads.
Yeah,
pretty bonkers.
We had some awesome table reads, and the writers' rooms. It may have changed. I have not been in a room lately.
Okay,
since
so
the
yeah,
Cleveland Show.
let's talk
But-
about
No. But I'm saying, absolute free for all. Anything goes.
some of the
Safe
hardest
space-
laughs you've had.
Safe space to frickin' go there to say whatever. So yes, very very funny and horrifically insulting, inappropriate things that are fucking funny.
But guess what? That's
you
the
can't put that
brilliance
on the
of what
air.
you guys were doing.
You can't
Like,
put it on the air anymore.
you can't, can you? Are you?
No.
Are they finding that? You think?
Yeah. No, I mean,
What
shit's
a bummer.
pulling back.
I know
mean,
it really is. I mean, and people ask stand-ups that all the time. I think it's case by case. Like I definitely.
like HIV.
Can you say it? Can you have it?
It's case by case.
Okay. Is that their slogan?
I don't know.
There are a
It's
lot
not
of
even
HIV
funny. It's not
billboards
funny
out
to
here.
joke. Well, yeah.
Anything's funny. Funny trumps everything. I mean, I was doing some bits. I'm not gonna do the bits, but last night about basically the premise was Shohei Ohtani, player for the Angels, and he was dealing with an injury, and one of the commentators got canceled because he said, "Oh, the
I know he did.
head broadcaster was like, how are they going to handle this?" And he goes, "Oh, they're going to have to be very, very careful."
Very careful.
Very careful.
That's exactly what it said. It was Jack Morris, Hall
Yeah.
of Famer for the
Yeah.
Detroit Tigers.
Yeah, and I was like, wow, this guy was 2 innings away from Shohei. It's a deep fly ball to left center field, and it will sushi roll into the bleachers. That's a bomb you know his family would run from. And as Shohei rounds the bases, pumping his fist, he screams, "Me so horny," as the Angels take the lead 7-5. Big laughs. Couple
Yeah.
people go, "Oh, fuck, man."
Right.
Like being like, "I can't believe you went there." And I'm like, it's a joke. I'm not the one. I'm heightening what a guy who fucked up said. Do you know what I'm
Yes,
saying?
exactly.
If you're smart about it.
You're taking you're taking the seed and you're running
Yes,
with it.
and it's a joke. It's not. People are so quick to be
Yeah.
idiots to go like, "Oh, so you just did that so you could do the Asian voice." What?
Right. No, that would be the shitting on the sidewalk
Yes,
joke.
that's like the extent of maybe what I think I do that is maybe on the edgy side. So I don't feel like I can't say whatever I want because I'm just not. I'm not going up there being like I would. My thoughts aren't being
You're
filled
not
with.
You're
Yeah.
not full of hate or judgment.
It's
You're just
silly,
up there,
goofy shit.
What can be funny?
Totally.
And then it's
I might get there though. Who knows?
so back in the day, like with your whoopee cushion and all that, playing the prank on your teacher. Yes, you got the laugh, but you also had to pay the price.
Totally.
So that's something that's going on now on a grand scale.
Oh, yeah.
where if you're going to push it, yes, you might get some laughs and hard laughs, but you also might get fucking canceled.
Yeah,
So-
I think you're wrong if you're not trying to be somewhat cognizant of that. I mean, I don't know. Well, actually, I mean, look, I do believe in like not apologizing. Mm-hmm. I know people that have gotten, and I'm talking about like for joke stuff. People, and there's timing of things. There's comics that have tweeted things after like Kobe passed or 9/11 stuff that they've gotten chastised for. And yeah, there is a somewhat of a formula as far as like giving something time, you know. And I do believe. When people were even, I saw somebody tweet a joke out after like the Sandy Hook incident, and that to me was like,
Yeah, that's not.
I had a different view of that person because I was like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
But I do believe that nothing's off the table, you know.
Yeah.
I think it should be because I think that is an inherently big issue. I think overwhelmingly with just the world in general, where it's like people taking themselves and life too seriously, but more so themselves.
Yes.
Like when you
When
can't
people are
laugh at
speaking for other groups, that's
Man,
what drives me crazy.
if you can't, yes, and if you can't be self-deprecating, what a bummer, dude. If you
Yeah.
can't take the piss out of yourself,
Or self-defecating.
if you can't shit on yourself,
Yeah.
and go, haha, look what I did
Right.
at a Starbucks, then maybe you shouldn't go outside.
That's right. Yeah.
Who said that?
Shohei Ohtani. I think, but he didn't. He didn't say it that clearly.
Oh,
he
my
said it in a
fucking
folksy,
God.
funny accent, a stereotypical Asian accent.
Bro.
No, he didn't.
Yes, you're so quick. You're quick, dude.
You're quick.
Thank you. Well, my wife says that.
Adam Ray.
Thanks, bud.
All right. Thanks for coming
I
in,
love you,
brother.
Mikey.
Yeah, I love you, brother. All right.